They're brutal. They're so brutal. I'm just so done.
Bro, like, chill out. It's not that deep. What's up, my kings and queens? It's Apoc, your favorite host and jealous hater, and welcome to the channel. Now, if there's one thing that I cannot stand, it's anti-communities or creators who preach about all the bad and horrible things other YouTubers do. Well, they do those same exact things. Well, that, or they're just worse in general. Take DCP, for instance. My guy promotes online safety and how family vloggers push out too much personal information, giving weirdos online a blueprint to their lives, which can lead to bad things. Okay, valid, great point. I agree. But he doesn't just stop there. No, he actually takes things a little too far, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, because he will actively go out, search for people's addresses, usually a mommy vlogger, because look at what he did with Brianna K. She's a mommy vlogger, and he went and looked for her address, which is super sus, and then he Google Earthed it on his platform in front of almost 100,000 people at the time, showing off her street, naming landmarks around her home. But hey, you know, she's a vlogger, so she kind of deserves it. Isn't that right, DCP?
I am going to show you where they live. Someone pointed out to me. I'm going to get it for you. Here, open it up. I wanted to point out what was behind her house. Where did it go? I lost it. Here. She lives here. I mean, she's showing us her house, so I'm okay with showing you this.
Now, today really isn't even about the little cave dweller from Canada. No, he's just one of the best examples to use when it comes to channels or communities who dedicate their time to accountability while not keeping that same energy for themselves. But believe it or not, there are other communities and creators who can be worse than him. People who like to play the moral police and tell others like myself what to do or dictate to what we are allowed to post on our channels and gatekeep commentary and opinions, which I'm pretty sure you already know who I'm talking about. Yes, it's Not Another Housewife, go figure. But let's keep in mind that the same does go for her husband.
That's not true, Apoc. She doesn't like when women get dragged or when false narratives get pushed against them.
Marissa doesn't care about women or children. It's clear as day by her rhetoric. Plus, she dragged a woman just for going on DCP's podcast, a man's podcast. So while she's calling Janelle shady for no reason at all, she's letting her own husband drag Gabby Petito.
I think I missed my calling, perhaps. I should have been a detective. I've actually cracked the case. So what happened is, when Brian and Gabby got stopped by that police officer, that night, Gabby actually slept with that police officer, and Brian knew it. And so he couldn't do anything about it, and so afterwards, he ended up killing her and burying her.
Oh, but here's the icing on the cake, because Marissa made an entire video shitting on DCP for exploiting Gabby Petito and her death, claiming that all the theorized speculation was just going to do more harm than good.
With the Dad Challenge podcast, I have seen his, how many videos has he made now? 8 the last time I counted. He, in my opinion, is capitalizing off this poor woman and her death. If you look at his titles, body found with a whole bunch of exclamation points. But Dad Challenge podcast is being just disgusting. He's being crass. He's being insensitive to the family and to Gabby. And her family clearly doesn't want her to be talked about or broadcasted all over social media. Do you think this family wants her face and your conspiracy theories plastered all over social media? All these people on social media to make all these theories that could be dangerous and affect the case. And it's wrong in my opinion.
So Marissa, your stance is that you don't approve of false narratives or conspiracy theories being thrown out against women. And it's wrong because it can do more harm than good, right? That's your thing. And that pushing all those things out can actually like hurt a case. But why aren't you keeping that same energy for your own husband, the guy you are married to? Because in this entire video, all you do is excuse his behaviors and actions. He literally claimed that Gabby Petito cheated on Brian with one of the cops that pulled them over while she was in distress, and used all that nonsense as to why Brian murdered her. Bruh, this is literally one of the worst false narratives, horrible false narratives that anyone could have pushed out against Gabby, a young woman who was murdered by her abusive fiance. Marissa, your husband was just pulling things out of his ass. To do what? What was that for? The only thing I can think of personally is so that he can shit on a woman, because that's what it seems like. So all of our videos will hurt people, but your own husband, who paints his face black to mock people of color and upsets a black woman to the point of crying due to his so-called trolling, that's peachy, that's fine, that's not crossing the line. No, he's just a troll, right? We can just claim being a troll and then we're Gucci, because by Marissa's mentality, that's what it seems like. What your husband did, Marissa, is not funny. What you're doing is not funny. It's not. And then you dare come online. You have the audacity to tell all of us that we shouldn't be making certain videos. And then you tell DCP to have respect for Gabby. I mean, I agree, but who are you to tell anybody anything about having respect for Gabby? Your husband said that she cheated on Brian with one of the cops that pulled him over while she was crying, and that's why she was murdered.
Well, my husband's just a troll, Apoc. That's who he is. I have no control over what he says or does.
Yeah, you do, Marissa. You really, truly do. You're his wife. You're his partner. If anyone has any sort of pull on him, it would be you. She also claims that she addresses everything with her husband in private, but I really highly doubt that due to all the justifications and excuses that she likes to make. And, you know, for the fact that he just keeps doing it over and over and over again with no lessons learned and no consequences. He even said that he didn't care and the world's just getting soft.
The fact that people now are getting butthurt that I use the word nagger, N-A-Y-G-E-R, that is not even a word. How can it be racist? It's not even a word. And I did that to show you people how ridiculous it is, how ridiculous you are. People are so, by and large, society is so sensitive that normal people like myself have to start tiptoeing around certain vocabulary words.
My guy literally made up a word that is literally on the brink of being the N-word, just to prove that people are just snowflakes. Like, what more proof does anyone else need that these people are trash, that these people are hypocrites to the T? And look, I'm not saying that Marissa has to come online and publicly bash her husband, because I get not ruining your marriage, your relationship, everything you have built together, especially when children are involved. And from what I gathered, people don't want that. They just want him to stop and own up. There's nothing wrong with that. And Marissa is just sweeping all of it under the rug. So it's either she doesn't care or she's a part of it, which I'm thinking it's both. But she'll still come online and play innocent, pretend like she's above it all, acting like she hasn't said the most egregious things ever. But it doesn't really matter if she did or she didn't. She can play her little game all she wants, because nothing, and I mean nothing, will ever, and I mean ever, Marissa, justify these clips.
Dean, man, tell me you didn't say that you hoped Grind and Shine's daughter did not make it out of surgery. Oh, I definitely said it.
So Grind and Shine recovery, here's the deal with that whole thing. I didn't say anything about your kid until you made that comment, but that's neither here nor there, man. See, it's funny how people start acting when you find out their real name, their address, their brothers and sisters, their wife. You find out everyone's information, then all of a sudden they want to start cooperating, and that's exactly what I wanted out of this.
Dude just admitted to going real life, as in DOXing people, and then the other clip was him wishing that a child would not make it through a surgery. Who the hell do these people think they are, man? Holding others accountable while having this nasty, egregious track record behind them. Like, they have zero credibility. What a joke. I just cannot believe this stuff. And I didn't even know it. I was peers with Marissa for a while. I just never really looked into her content or the drama or whatever. But then she decided to open her loud mouth, and then so I decided to look into her, which it's kind of funny because when I started to look into her, I left a comment on somebody's channel, and her and her cronies freaked the hell out, and they said it was for another reason. But to be honest, I think it's just because they didn't want me to stumble upon all this other stuff. I already have so much on them, or at least definitely on Marissa, but now I have more on her husband too. I mean, what the hell? But they freaked out when I was looking for receipts. But anyways, it would be one thing if Marissa was like naive or ignorant to what her husband was doing, and then, you know, she was obviously had a clean record. Okay, I would get that, because there could be some Stockholm syndrome shit going on, you know? But that's not what's going on here. She is fully conscious to what's going on. She actively enables him by not holding him accountable while also being a part of it at the same time. And what's that saying again? Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, let's get these losers.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa. If you're new here, your favorite problematic housewife. And
you know, it's so funny. When I originally responded to her in my first video about her response to us and the mommy vloggers, whatever, the Jess Famboto stuff, right? I made a comment earlier because I broke down like her entire video, but I made a comment about how she has your favorite problematic housewife and I have your favorite jealous hater. And I was like laughing at it, and I was just wondering who had it first, but I wasn't pressed or anything. But she literally took it as like a serious thing, acting like I actually cared, but I don't give a damn. I was just curious who had it first, but I wasn't accusing anybody of copying. But she thinks I did. I don't know. I said it several times, but she has the DCP mentality where she always has to be right.
Today, I'm a little nervous to do this video.
Well, gee whiz, I wonder why.
As you guys know, I've been in kind of like the scandal, I guess you could say.
I really wouldn't call it a scandal. I would say that your husband was caught in blackface and you're not going to say anything about it, which means that you are, you're an accomplice to his bullshit. That's what I think.
With my husband. And I want to thank...
Oh, here we go.
I want to thank all the people in my DMs who gave me all the positive vibes.
Oh, man. Why do people who always get themselves into like controversies and shit always say this garbage? Bro, we get it. While you were getting shit on, there's people in your comment sections bootlicking you. Okay?
All the people who have been so supportive through this whole thing, because it's been kind of a rough week for me.
Boo-hoo. Oh my God, my husband's a piece of shit. Wham.
All the DMs that I've been getting, all the advice, and just all the support. Because most of you realize that I am my own person with my own thoughts, opinions, and beliefs.
Not when you're married. I mean, sure, you can have like two individual people, obviously, and they could have different views on the world, right? That's not what this is. There's a big difference in having like a different view of the world or like your country or whatever than to put black paint on your skin and mock black people.
My husband is his own person, and even though we're married, that does not mean that we are the exact same person or think the exact same things.
Well, let's keep in mind that Marissa was like a horrible, nasty troll on the internet for a long time, and her husband is doing the same thing. I don't know if Marissa's still doing the same thing. I would say so, because she acts like she's like this recovering troll, like it's an addiction or something. But in all reality, with just engaging with her for like 2 seconds, I realized that all she is a troll, and she loves it. She feeds off of it. It's actually kind of gross.
Or do the exact same things, because it's not true. I just want to say, if you choose to still support me, I appreciate that so much. And those are the people that I want as my subscribers.
Because she only wants the echo chamber. She wants the people that are going to brown nose her and not the people that are going to question her. Like when DCP put out his slander piece on me, there were a couple people that dipped out, but majority of people stayed and just were like, I'm just going to wait for Apoc to explain himself and let us know what happened. And then that's it. And then I made my debunking video and that was that. But this isn't the same situation. It's not like nobody slandered you. You guys are actively doing these horrible things and you're being called out. And now you're like, oh, I'm so happy that there are people out there as shitty as me. You literally talk about how other people have an echo chamber and then you have an echo chamber. That's just what it comes down to.
If you don't want to be my friend or support me anymore, I understand that. If you can't get past my husband, it is what it is.
When you're married to someone like that and they do these sort of things and you allow it, you are just as bad. Even if you're not doing it, you're just as bad. It doesn't matter.
I'd rather get through this now, tell everybody where I stand, and then maybe this can be done. I'm not going to address it anymore after this.
She'd sound like Jordan Cheyenne. I'm going to make this once, guys. I'm never going to talk about it ever again. Yeah, the reason why you don't want to talk about it ever again is because you have nothing of value or substance to say. You're just going to make your justifications and excuses, and then when people question you, you won't say anything because you already said you're not going to address it anymore.
I don't care how many more videos come out. This is it.
Bro, she's so pressed when people make videos about her, especially when it's based around her husband. Like, her husband is your trigger. I noticed this, which is funny because she was trolling me, acting like if she mentioned my wife that I would freak out. And I was like, bro, what are you talking about? My wife can handle her own shit. She'll put you in your place and this and that. My wife is a queen. I praise my wife. And she's like, get over yourself. What? Bro, I was literally praising my wife, my woman. I called her a queen. I don't need to defend her. I will if I have to, but I know I don't have to because she is a queen. She can handle her own shit, especially easy commentary fodder like Marissa. But her husband is her trigger. In this video, I thought there was a couple times she was going to cry.
I didn't do anything. I know a lot of people are upset. I shared his video and I left a comment, but that was my husband and he was defending me. So I wanted to support him regardless of what was said in the video.
I'm just saying this right now. If you want to talk about being separate people and this and that, then you shouldn't be sharing his videos and you shouldn't be talking about each other. She does this several times for the video.
You guys know I'm my own person.
But then she talks about how she's like a moderator on his channel. They share each other's videos. They go into each other's comments. Bro, if you're separate, then why aren't you separate?
What his deal is, like, if you guys didn't know, he's a troll and he's very open about that.
That's what a great guy. He's open.
And I just think a lot of people don't understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, you know, because when he's online fucking with people, it's just, he's just misunderstood. It's like the people who say Satan's misunderstood.
But you guys have to remember that none of this would have happened if the people who already didn't like me weren't trying to use my husband to get at me and take me down.
Oh, now who does that sound like right there? My haters, guys, the haters did it. She's literally spewing the same rhetoric as DCP right here. She's saying that the people who hate her are going after and trying to use her husband against her, which, by the way, valid. It's not like they're clinging on to anything or grasping for straws. It's a valid thing, because if my wife did something racist and somebody found out, they would be like, Apoc, why are you talking about racism on your channel when your wife's being racist? Like, do you not understand that? It's like you making the Gabby Petito video shitting on DCP for all the theorized speculation and making money, while your husband made money off of his Gabby Petito video and pushed out a false narrative that could have hurt the case. In your logic, what the hell are you talking about?
Which is completely f***ed up in my opinion, and I feel like not one person has addressed that fact.
Well, the reason why people aren't going to address it, because that is probably one of the lamest arguments I have ever heard anyone use ever.
That the only reason why he was brought into this community was because of other people using him and using his controversial content to try and cancel me and take me down and be like, look, see, she's horrible. Look what her husband's doing. No, I'm not going to play that shit, and I'm not going to do it.
You don't really have a choice, because you're married to somebody who does these things. That says a lot about you. Like I said earlier, birds of a feather flock together. You can't be married to someone and not like them or be similar in some way. Like I said, it's not comparable to like political things or a different view of the world. Like if your husband's racist or if he goes after people on a personal level, like that's a problem, and you should have a problem with it, especially because you claim it's happened to you, Marissa. So if that happened to you, then why aren't you speaking out against it when it comes to your husband? Why are you just saying, oh, well, he's a troll, guys? That's just what it comes down to, and I'm not having anything else.
I have had a rough week. I have had so many people telling me I'm vile, I'm trash, I'm a racist.
Valid.
All this crazy stuff that is just not true.
In the words of Marissa, that's subjective.
And if you pile that on with the last couple months of constant accusations and allegations of blackmail, of harassing people, of all this stuff that I did not do.
You did it or your husband did it, and there's actual proof online that they did these things. There's so much more than what I'm talking about in this video on these people, and I'm going to expose it, because that's what my channel is about. I didn't know that they had all this behind them. I kind of laughed when DCP said that he was going to expose, you know, Dean and Marissa, because I was like, what do they have? And then when I finally did my digging, I was like, holy shit, DCP could easily swat these guys like flies. Their shit is online and it's bad.
This was just like the fucking tip of the iceberg, and I was like, this is too much. Like, I am so sick of this. This is not commentary. This is nasty people trying to come at me 24/7 all the time.
So would that be considered trolling? Are people trolling you? Right? I mean, that's what trolls do. They, you know, basically hassle people for long periods of time to bother them, to trigger them. And you just admitted to being triggered. You just said that this has been happening for a while and you're sick of it. So you're being trolled and you don't like it. Huh. But you allow your husband to troll people and you excuse it. Not a good look, Marissa.
And it's not right, because I don't do that to people. I give my opinions on things.
No, she does not. She complains about mom shaming, right? And then she goes online and mom shames.
I have always said that I'm not the moral police.
Yeah, well, you sure do act like it when you go on and tell us what we can do with our channels and what's right and what's wrong.
I have always said that I'm not about cancel culture.
She says she's not part of cancel culture, but it's been pretty exposed out there that her and her husband, at least maybe leaning more towards her husband, but she's married to him, so she's as much to blame, that they go and find people and they contact their friends and family and harass them and spread false rumors and lies and then call their jobs and get them fired and just ruin livelihoods, man.
Dude, nothing has changed. Everything that I say on my channel is what I truly believe, regardless of what my husband does and says.
Yeah, well, again, you'll complain about one thing and then you go do it.
He has his own way of spreading his message. And some
Whoa, spreading his message. He has a message? What's his message when he DOXs people or wishes a child to not make it through their surgery? What's the message? What are we trying to learn? Please do tell.
Sometimes his message gets lost on people because they don't look past, like the offensive, shocking part of what he's saying.
Oh, you mean the snark? You gotta look past the snark to hear the message. What? That's what we all actively speak out against in the anti-DCP community. He will belittle and degrade women, like as women, like for their gender or sex or whatever, and say, well, you gotta look past all that to understand the child exploitation. So what she's saying is that you gotta look past all her husband's bullshit in order to hear his message. What's his message, Marissa? He does all these horrible things and uses it as a justification within his message. You are no one to talk about DCP. Your credibility is gone. It was gone within the first minute of this video.
But he's actually very smart and he has a lot to say, and he has helped
Mid-takes.
me so much. Not care what people think. He has helped me not to worry. He has helped my social anxiety. So what you guys have to remember is
nobody cares.
It is possible to be with somebody that is different than you are.
Again, she's acting like they have a different view of the world. Bro, your guy's racist. He mocked black people. He wished death on a child. He put other people in danger. Y'all ruined lives together. You cannot compare that to a right versus left situation at all.
It's completely possible, and I'm not sure why that's such a hard concept for people to understand.
Because, like I just explained, it's not comparable.
We balance each other out.
No, not at all. You guys are just more chaotic together. You don't balance each other out.
I'm the way I am. He's the way he is. And we work well together. Like he said in his video, we met because he was trolling the vegan community, and I stormed into his DMs and started cussing him out. And I was like, you're an asshole. Who the fuck do you think you are? And after we got past the anger and that point, we started talking a lot and we fell in love, and it was like this big whirlwind of a romance. He moved to Rhode Island. I got pregnant within a month of him moving in with me.
Hold the phone, Marissa. So you were part of the vegan community or whatever on Twitter, and then he rolled in trolling you guys about whatever, saying horrible shit probably, and then you went to his DMs to cuss him out, and then you ended up moving in together and then having babies. How the does that work? Well, how did that happen?
We now have 3 more kids, and he's a great guy. I don't care what any of you guys say. I know you think his behavior is horrible. I know you think he's vile, trash, and racist. I know he's not racist. I know he's not a bigot. I know he's not any of these things.
I'm pretty sure that DCP's wife, Kathy, would be saying the same exact things right now. In fact, she has said things on another podcast before he was big about how he's so great and this and that. But then online, we can tell he's a piece of shit, right? So you can spew all this crap all you want about how your husband's so great because he watches your kids or whatever, but that doesn't define you to be a good person just because you watch your kids. One good trait does not trump all the other bad traits.
I know him. He, to me, is my best friend, my husband, the father of my kids. He takes care of this house. He works his ass off.
You mean what he's supposed to do?
He hangs out with the kids. He's a good guy, and I will not accept anything else other than that.
But he goes online, harasses people. So it's a pretty bad trait. Again, one thing doesn't trump all the bad.
Don't like him? That's fine. Plenty of people don't like Dean. When I first met him...
God, why is she acting like he's just unlikable or something?
The vegan community was in an uproar. The vegan community was so mad.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because you were in the vegan community, you went to go bash a troll, and then you come out later going, hey guys, I'm pregnant.
Because I was dating him. I'm like, why do you guys care so much?
Because you were their friend or something and they trusted you. Again, you were moving in together the next breath.
I was pretty well known in that community, you know what I mean? So people were just shocked because they all thought my husband was some crazy troll. And he is a crazy troll. He's wild and crazy and says outlandish things. But you know what? I love him and he is amazing.
My guess is that she's only saying these things because he was the only one that would have her.
I'm not going to pretend like I'm ashamed of my husband. I'm not
You should be.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm not associating with him on the internet. If I want to comment on one of his videos, I'm gonna do it.
You do pretend. You literally said that you guys are like separated. You guys are your own people. And then you moderate his channel and then you share each other's videos and then you comment on each other's videos. And then when he gets himself into a controversy or drama, you're like, well, guys, I didn't know. I mean, that's my husband. That's not my deal. I don't have any responsibilities. Get real, Marissa.
I'm a moderator on his channel. I support his channel and his message.
What's his message, though? He's horrible. What's his message?
Does he miss the mark sometimes? Yes. Did I tell him I don't agree with the Gabby Petito videos? Yes, he knows how I feel about things.
Doubt it, because he keeps doing these things over and over and over again. But by the way, that video should have disgusted her. Marissa's the type that would allow an abuser within her family just because it's family.
But that doesn't mean I'm just disowning, disavowing, like just discrediting his entire channel. I'm just done with him forever.
No one's saying that, Marissa. They just want him to stop. And you just enable him.
I just think sometimes he takes his shocking content, like he just goes to the extreme. You know what I mean?
Then who are you guys to talk about DCP? If you're going to be this way, fine. But here's the problem. You don't have any credibility to talk about DCP and the nasty things he does because you're doing the same thing. Maybe take down all your DCP videos.
The video to BX, and he knows he's a troll and he's fine with that. He knows how to push people's buttons. Everybody was like in an uproar because he said a word that's not actually even a word. And he did that on purpose to show people like, hey, you guys are getting too crazy, too sensitive. And he helps me with that.
She's talking about that word that he made. I'm not even going to say it because it's so close to the N word, but I am not going to say it because it is just on the brink. It's like, dude, just say the N-word if you want, like for real, because here you are basically saying it. But apparently his message with that was he wanted to prove a point that people are too soft in this world, and he made up a word that sounds exactly like the N-word, basically. But he wanted to prove that people are soft. Like, why? This just sounds like when DCP wanted to prove that these influencers and vloggers are just so gross. So he shows a crotch shot of a little minor, and he goes, I keep these things in because I need to show the nastiness. It's like, you don't actually, you can blur it out. But no, instead he proves it. It's like, dude, we know these people do this. We know this thing, and people are just going to believe him anyway. So he didn't need to show it. He wanted to show it. DCP wanted to because he's a sick too. But Marissa's husband made up that word to get people mad because he knew it would get them mad. He doesn't care about a message. He's a troll. He just wants to with people, and that's it.
That's what I mean when we balance each other out, because it happens to me on the internet sometimes. I'm in fights with people, I'm getting outraged by things that are said, I'm getting upset.
Hey, why don't you get your emotion out of it?
Total opposite of that. He is like, chill out, it doesn't matter, don't let this person bother you, like if they call you fat, it doesn't matter, they're haters, they're trolls, like just whatever.
They're haters, they're trolls. Bro, you guys are literally haters and trolls.
I don't give a fuck what I said. I could say the most offensive, gross, shocking thing on the internet. And there never for 1 second would he get on his channel and be like, oh, I'm scolding you, you're bad, like you're doing this and this. No.
Why would he do that if he's online doing the same thing? He's not going to call you out for saying nasty things when he's being nasty too. That makes no sense.
Thoughts and his opinions. He's allowed them. Just because you don't agree with them doesn't mean that he shouldn't be able to say his opinion and say what he wants to say. And
yeah, guys, he just wants to make a word that sounds exactly like the N-word, basically spelled the same way as well. And his opinion is, if you get mad at the N-word and think that I'm racist, well, you're just a soft pussy.
Spread his message that he has for the world. And he has an audience for that.
I don't understand what his message is, Marissa. You keep talking about his message. What's his message?
His audience understands his humor. His audience knows what he's talking about.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I've had the same exact comment in my comment section about DCP.
So does that whole community of people that are just very controversial and they're not politically correct. They will say any word that they want to in the vocabulary and they don't give a shit. That's just the way it is over there.
Then what the fuck are we doing in the DCP videos? You're saying that they don't care. They don't care about being held accountable. They don't go what people say. None of that. Then why are you making DCP videos? DCP's a troll. We all know that. He doesn't care. I mean, we know he gets pressed of what people say, of course, but like, He's going to keep making videos. It's what he does. You know, he wants to make money. This just makes you like one big old hypocrite because you won't condemn your husband's actions, but you'll condemn DCPs. I don't give a if you're married. You should still call people out when they're saying bad things, because otherwise it's just going to make you look just as bad, which is why I don't give DCP's wife any grace either.
Like I've said, he would never be in the mix of what I'm doing in this community if it weren't for other people bringing him in. Do you guys know that my husband has been being brought up for a month now by channels like As Seen by a Subscriber? She has been trying to cancel me through Dean for over a month now. Dean didn't say anything. He stayed in his own lane. I'm like, I
Bro, you've been bringing up DCP for how long? Way more than a month.
can handle it, it's okay. But she kept pushing and pushing and pushing and insisting on canceling me because of him. Then BX got the videos. Now all of a sudden, everybody's in an uproar when he claps back and he does what he has always done for 10 years. Has he gone through times where he's more offensive than others? Yeah, sure. He calmed down a lot. And now he's like really amping it up lately. But he's just being fueled by everybody who's so upset.
This is exactly why I named the video I found the female version of DCP, because she is making the same exact excuses and justifications that people make for her husband that people use for DCP. This is just like jaw-dropping. I had a whole nother video planned about Marissa, but I saw this and I just had to get on it ASAP, because the things that she says throughout this whole video is just wild.
There's no point on doing commentary on a troll because they won't be held accountable on YouTube or the internet. They don't give a
You mean like DCP? I mean, we know DCP again gets pressed about what people say, like call him bald, whatever. He's still going to make videos. He's still going to make money, and you're still making videos on him. He doesn't give a about you, Marissa. So why do you have this energy for DCP and trying to cancel him or hold him accountable, but you won't do the same for your husband? Your husband doesn't care? Fine. DCP doesn't either. So why are you calling him out and not your husband?
So what is the point of doing commentary on him? He does not care. It's almost like a situation with Katie Joy where she doesn't care anymore. It's like, what's the point at this point to even make videos on her because she doesn't give a shit?
Which is funny because I think she just made like 2 videos on her. Like just recently, like her last 2 are about Katie Joy, I believe. So find it funny that she's saying that there's no point making videos on Katie Joy because she's a troll and doesn't care, but then makes videos on her anyways. Does the same thing with DCP. She called me a troll, said she's gonna make a video on me, but never did. Probably won't because she has no credibility, and especially after this video. It's not so much about that Dean doesn't care. It's that Marissa does really care, and she doesn't want people making videos on like her or her husband, especially her husband, because that's her trigger. But she's trying to like deflect people away or deter people away from making videos on him because she's just saying it's all pointless. But it's not pointless because we know that DCP is a troll, right? And we also know that DCP will never hold himself accountable. I mean, that's why we're here making videos about him. That's why there's an anti-community against him, because people want to hold his ass accountable because he won't. He does the same things he complains about. So it doesn't matter if Dean doesn't care, Marissa. It doesn't matter if you don't care, Marissa. What matters is other people will care. So when we throw videos up like this, people are going to see you for what you truly are. And then they'll leave your channel and you'll just be left with your echo chamber. You know, Jenny, Ren, Melissa, all those goons. And that's why you will always be a small creator on this platform, because you only keep the energy for other people and not yourselves.
I hope I'm making sense, guys, and I really hope that you respect my decision not to trash my husband on the internet.
No one's asking you to trash him. They just want you to address it or have him own up to it, have him stop. No one's saying to bash him. Like, what are you talking about?
To like make this big thing of it, do commentary videos on him. I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. He has his thing he's doing and I'm doing mine. If people stop.
Yeah, you know, his thing is making comments about, you know, Gabby Petito and cheating and whatever. But, you know, that's his thing. That's his thing. That's not mine. I don't have anything to do with that.
Trying to use him to take me down and stop poking at him. We can all move on from this.
Yeah, I bet she wants to move on from it. Pretty obvious she doesn't want people to talk about this, which again is why they freaked out when I started digging.
And it is what it is. Like, I understand that he's offensive. I get it. I'm not going to keep apologizing for him because that's not going to do anything, because tomorrow he'll upload another offensive video that has somebody else pissed off. That's not my job to tell everybody I'm sorry for being offended.
No, but as a partner, it is your job to inform him of what he's doing. And but I mean, you say he doesn't care, so it doesn't matter what you say anyways, right? So maybe he just doesn't care about your opinion, even if you did, but I highly doubt that you're even holding him accountable.
That's not my job. I'm not spending my time doing that. And I know some people are really upset about that fact.
Well, the best part, it is kind of her job though. Like, she's a commentary channel who holds people accountable, yet here's somebody within her life who's doing something bad, who does a lot of bad things, and she's not holding him accountable. It's literally like her job. She gets paid to do it.
But it's not my apology to give to people. It's not my job to make sure that I'm making sure that everybody on the internet is okay because of what he's saying. That's his thing.
You know, it's not like he's calling a girl the B word or something like that. It's not like that. He is literally being horrible to people and going after them in real life. That's a problem that affects people. Marissa should be upset about that, but she doesn't care. She doesn't care about people. She doesn't care about moms or women or children. She does not care. Her and Dean are selfish hypocrites.
I want to be left out of it. If you want to do commentary videos on a troll, go ahead. To me, it's pointless, but whatever. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, again, this is her saying, oh, guys, it's pointless. No point in making videos. It's not pointless.
I just want to be left out of it. I can't promise that I'm never going to interact with my husband on the internet or associate with him online.
Then quit saying that you're separated from him.
It's never going to happen. I'm not ashamed of my husband. I love him. I think he's an amazing person.
Of course you do, because you do the same things as he does.
I do think he has an important message to spread on YouTube.
What's his message, Marissa?
His delivery, you know, misses the mark sometimes, but I know what he's saying.
It's like you lose more and more brain cells every time she opens her mouth. This is the same thing they say about DCP.
BX Beast Boy has literally said some of the same things that my husband has said on his channel.
So, do you have a problem with that?
That's why he wanted to stop covering Dean. One, I think he realized that Dean's a troll and doesn't give a shit, so he's wasting his time. And two, he started realizing that he has a lot of the same thoughts.
So they're both pieces of shits. Got it.
And I will say right now, I think BX Beast Boy has a lot of good opinions and a lot to offer YouTube, because he does, you know, think differently, but he bullies women on the internet, and that's the problem.
Don't talk about bullying women online, Marissa, when you are literally in your own videos commenting about how a woman didn't announce her nanny to you, like you had some sort of like entitlement to that, like you were demanding to know. You have no room to talk about any of this.
He is bullying women on the internet. He's just going around just being so nasty.
Maybe he's just trolling, Marissa, right? I mean, we can use that excuse now. If you just claim to be a troll, then it's fine. Then it's not a big deal. And then are you calling him out now? But if BX Beast Boy is like your husband Dean, then that would make BX Beast Boy a troll. Trolls don't care about being called out. So why are you pointing out things that BX Beast Boy did? Seems a little hypocritical, my guy.
And he's also been super nasty to Save Robbie.
Oh, you mean the guy that went real life with BX like a few months ago? That guy, Save Robbie?
It just is what it is. I don't think, you know, when somebody is pushing you and pushing you, a lot of people can say what they want about Save Robbie, but he has been pushed to the edge.
Trolls push people to the edge. So you're saying trolls are bad?
From video after video after video. That's not commentary, in my opinion, when you make 10 videos in a row about somebody.
Oh boy, Marissa. This shit is embarrassing, my guy.
And you're making all these crazy thumbnails, trying to make them look ugly on purpose, and just you're saying it's jokes, but you're being extra nasty. Sorry, but I just don't think that's commentary.
Well, Marissa, you really don't have a say, because you excuse your husband who says nasty things online, just goes, well, that's just their channel, that's just their community, they understand the humor, you don't, loser. That's what you're saying.
And he's claiming to be a commentary channel. He's not claiming to be a troll.
So there it is right there. So as long as you claim to be a troll, you're fine. How does that make anything okay? So if you just say these nasty things but you claim to be a troll, you're good in Marissa's book. It doesn't matter, right? Oh, she says that I'm horrible, I'm just as bad as DCP, but I'm also a troll. But if I'm a troll, if I claim to be a troll, then I'm Gucci, right? Pick a fucking lane, Marissa. Sing one tune, just one, please.
That's my husband. He's shocking, he's offensive, he's controversial, but that's him.
But what if that's BX Beast Boy? You know, if he's shocking and controversial and says nasty things, it's just him, right? Who are you to judge?
He is a good man. He sees the humor in literally everything. Like, even if you're not supposed to see humor in it, he sees the humor in it.
Again, DCP community rhetoric right here. They say the same shit about him. And then when you don't laugh at their so-called humor, their basic bitch humor, their popsicle stick jokes, the nasty bullshit that comes out of their mouths, then you're just unfunny, bro. You don't have a sense of humor.
He laughs at things. He doesn't get like too carried away or all up in arms about things.
I mean, I would say, and this is just my opinion here, so don't freak out, Marissa, but in my opinion, the things he said about Gabby, the blackface, and wishing that a child wouldn't make it out of surgery is like pretty extreme in crossing the line. I think anybody here watching this video right now is going to agree, you know, except you.
I'm the one in the house that's like stressed out all the time. And I'm like, what about this? What about that? And he's like, calm down. It's not that serious.
Okay, so the guy who trolls people online actively and harasses them and goes real life is the rational and logical one of the family.
When I'm like upset or having a meltdown about the kids, he will make me laugh every single time and forget that I was mad.
So that's a great guy, man. That trumps everything he's ever done in his entire life.
I know he's a good guy, and people have been trying to tell me for 5 years that he's a horrible person, okay? You guys know me. You guys know who I am and what I stand for. If I thought my husband was some monster, I would not be married to him.
Okay, I'm going to put that argument in the dirt right now. We all know that DCP is a monster. He's a sexist, misogynistic piece of crap, right? We all can agree to this. Even Marissa will agree to this. But a lot of people also give DCP's wife a lot of grace. She might not see that he's a monster. You could be naive and ignorant that your husband is a piece of crap. And you can say all you want that you guys know me, even though this is the internet, you don't really truly know anyone, but you can say that all you want while also not knowing that your husband's a piece of crap.
He's a good person. I know him giving money to homeless people on the street, trying to let homeless people come and take showers, trying to give people jobs. He does so many different things in our real life, playing with the kids, just how he is with...
Oh, showering homeless people and playing with children. That just makes him a great guy, huh?
You don't see that and you don't know that. And I wish, I almost want to start a vlog channel just so you guys can see like the other side of Dean.
Yeah, that's exactly what vloggers do. They show the other side of themselves or their true selves or whatever. But if you have to show people or want to show people the goodness in you or of someone else, it usually means that you're trying to do it for like some sort of reason, monetary, or just to show that you're a good person, and that's based from pure narcissism.
The more that people get mad, the more he's gonna like keep jabbing and jabbing and jabbing because people are getting so up in arms.
Someone screams racism, so he gets more racist, right? Such a great guy.
Me and Dean, when we met, we were both in like a bad place. I was miserable. I was going through a lot. I was in the vegan community and I was horrible. I had horrible behavior on the internet.
Then again, who are you to talk about being nasty online?
I'm not an angel. And that's another thing. Dean does not judge me for freaking chain smoking Newport 100s. He does not judge me because I used to have addiction problems.
Why would he judge you? He probably does all the same things.
He does not judge me for what I think and what I believe about everything in the world.
Because his beliefs are shit.
He doesn't judge me for any of those things. And that is why I like people like him, because he's not judgmental.
He's a troll who goes online and harasses people about whatever. He's literally one of the most judgmental people ever. Including you, Marissa.
He's not judgmental in the slightest. He's good people.
Mid takes all around. I'm telling you, all this is mid.
You know, and I don't judge him for his flaws or for his mistakes and things that he does.
Of course not, because you were nasty and still are. You're not going to judge him when you do the same thing. Like, why is she using this as an argument?
Because we're married. He's not just some random YouTuber that I'm making a commentary video on, which, if he wasn't my husband, I probably would have made a video about him.
So you're biased. Literally, right there. She just admitted that she's biased.
I just want to put this to bed. I'm deading this in the water right now. I refuse to be canceled. I refuse to leave the internet.
She sounds like Jordan Cheyenne, thinking that she has any sort of choice in being canceled or not. That's not how cancellations work, sis.
And I appreciate everybody who supports me. And I appreciate the people who admire me for standing by my husband.
You can still stand by your husband and not like say the things you did throughout this whole video.
Not giving in to what the public wants and what they're demanding with their pitchforks.
Oh no, people want your husband to be accountable.
Like, you gotta love the victim mentality. Her husband makes a video about people that are soft, but Marissa is the softest out here.
I love doing YouTube, and the people who see me for me and can separate me from my husband's channel and what his thoughts and beliefs are, that's amazing. And
Quit acting like this is like a political thing. Completely different.
that's who I want as a subscriber, because that is the real ones right there.
Those are the bootlickers. The echo chamber.
Appreciate my friends. I appreciate everybody who's checked on me this week and sent me just the sweetest DMs and tweets, and you're just so supportive.
Imagine needing validation from randoms online.
And I suggest that you just stay off his channel. You know what I mean? It's very upsetting to some people, and I just would not watch him. I would just stay on my channel. We can have our little community that we've built over here talking about the issues that we find important, regardless of what my husband thinks.
So what she's saying is that if you don't like it, don't watch it. So Marissa, if you don't like DCP's content, then if you don't like it, don't watch it. What's the difference there? If she doesn't like his content, don't go on his channel. Just stay away and stick to your community. She's also saying that whoever else, like within her community, just stay on her channel and they'll talk about what she defines as bad, but not what everybody else thinks. This is how you know she doesn't like other people's opinions.
As far as Dad Challenge podcast, I would never in a million years compare my husband to that man.
Let's see. Both of them go real life. Both of them drag women. Oh, not to mention that they're both trolls and they don't care about accountability, none of that. I would say they're pretty on par with each other.
He harasses and bullies mothers on the internet, tries to deplatform them, tries to get rid of their sponsorships, tries to get CPS called on these mothers.
And your husband, Marissa, stalks and harasses people. He's admitted to all this. I showed the clip earlier. He looks into people on a way personal level, finds out their friends, family, where they work, and tries to get them fired. It's literally the same thing.
That is a whole can of worms that Dad Challenge podcast is opening with these mommy vloggers.
But he's a troll, so, you know, he's excused, right?
So there's no comparison between an offensive, shocking troll, right? Or Dad Challenge podcast, who's literally bullying mothers on the internet. I will always call it out because I'm a mother online, and one of my main things, besides calling out bullshit and hypocrisy and fake people wearing a facade and a mask when they're really nasty people.
You mean like yourself?
Moms on the internet. It's really important to me. Mom shaming and moms on the internet. If you can hear kids screaming, my husband has the children, so don't be alarmed.
Or maybe you should be.
Everybody else who has come in my DMs, we've had a good conversation, whether they agreed with me or they didn't.
I'm pretty sure they didn't even get a fucking word in.
He supports me and I support him. He can do whatever the he wants on his channel. I will always speak out when mothers and women are getting bullied.
No, you won't. Literally just said your husband can do whatever he wants on his channel. And he has. And you haven't called him out for it. That's a lie.
And harassed and just getting horrible shit done to them on the internet. Because that's what I care about. That's what I care about. And I will always call it out.
Why? They could just be trolling, right? As long as we're trolls, it doesn't matter anymore.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I'm not sure how people are going to receive this, but I kind of just wanted to be honest with you guys where I'm actually coming from.
I just want to be raw and real with you guys for once. Typical YouTuber bullshit.
I just wanted to just turn the camera on and actually say what's going on in this crazy brain of mine.
Isn't that what you do anyways? So are you saying that you put on a mask and fake things?
I see the good in my husband. I see, you know, he has flaws just like everybody else.
I feel like she's talking about, you know, Padme from Star Wars, and she's saying, I still see the good in Anakin, even though he just, you know, murdered a bunch of younglings.
We cannot preach acceptance and individual rights.
Oh boy, here we go.
And all these things that social justice warriors push on the internet. If you want everyone to be accepted, you have to accept everybody.
Bro, why is she acting like trolls should be accepted accepted into like the LGBTQ.
It's not equal rights and acceptance only for your side of the tracks.
You're on the internet, sweetie. There are no equal rights here.
Why is it so hard for people to be around other people that don't have the same beliefs and thoughts as them?
Because I would not want to be around somebody who paints their face black and mock black people. But you know, that's just me.
I think people need to open their minds.
Open their minds to racism and wishing bad things to a child. Oh, and you know, going real life.
You want everyone to be open-minded and accepting, but a lot of people are not open-minded and accepting.
Let's keep in mind here that Marissa is not open-minded or accepting. You say one thing against her, or you even respond like I did, because all I did was respond, and her and her goons freaked the hell out.
If anybody doesn't believe what they believe, whether it's about religion, whether it's about politics, whether it's about social issues, if they're not in the same belief system as you just want to write them off. They're a bigot, they're racist, they're this, they're that. It's like they're homophobic.
You can't say like, oh, well, my husband was racist making these jokes and this and that and doing whatever else. But you all are just closed-minded and need to accept us.
As a woman, I have a right to my individuality. I have a right to my own opinions and thoughts separate from my husband. You cannot preach the rights of women while trying to condemn a woman because of her husband.
Marissa, you are condemning a woman just because she went on a guy's podcast. You don't care about women. And what the hell does this have to do with women's rights in your opinion? No one's shitting on you for your opinion here. They're questioning to why you support what your husband is doing. It has nothing to do with your sex or gender. She's trying to use her being a woman as a weapon to silence other people. This is called manipulation. People questioning you on why you support and enable your husband doesn't mean they're trying to impede on your rights as a woman. They're not trying to silence you. In fact, they're trying to get you to speak out more. It's not you as a woman. It's the fact that you're just doing it in general. Anyways, all you jealous haters, that's about it. Well, that was a whole ass train wreck. I knew she was bad after digging into her a little bit, but not like that. And again, it makes sense as to why she didn't want me to look into her, because holy shit. And there's so much more coming. But let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Okay, bye, losers.